All right, we are rolling. Just gotta put the smoke out. Yeah, so if you don't see my face in the corner, that is why. Because I'm smoking and I'm not allowed to do that on stream. Just you gotta make sure. Anyways, men. Do you find this body type attractive? Yes, actually, I do. If she could get that natty, that'd be awesome. However, I know that you don't get that much muscle mass, as a woman especially, without there being a little bit of Sazul in there. I'm more curious what her protocol is. I'm genuinely curious what she's doing. I should just link my stream right now. Wait, how do I actually share streams? I'm sorry, but I am very new to streaming right now. I have no idea how to do that. Okay, I bet if I just do that. I gotta share this on the Twitter. Like, this is one of those moments where two monitors actually comes in handy quite a bit. Alright, back to it. Me and my no view having ass. Okay, yeah, I think this is actually pretty hot because I enjoy the amount of I love the amount of effort that it takes to do this. Like, just because you're using steroids doesn't mean that it's easy. It's not. You still have to eat right. You still have to do all the work. I used to be a personal trainer. There is my thoughts on the matter. However, I hate it when people are dishonest about their use of Sazul. I hate it. Oh, oh, we're gonna have fun here. Anyways, let me just mute myself real quick.
Would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, 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 because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else. But they're not actually thinking about the question. I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a dick. That's the tranny. Or Hulk Hogan with a pussy. That's the girl. This is the question I'm asking. Megan Fox or Hulk Hogan? So you're thinking, well, I don't want to be gay, so I just clicked the girl, the number 1, did it? You're going to fuck Hulk Hogan? Okay, there's a pussy, but he's got mustache and muscles and shit. He's all hairy, big dude, 6'5". It's pretty gay to me. That sounds pretty gay. I don't care if it's a pussy. That is gay. Whereas Megan Fox, okay, he's got a dick, but maybe you can, scoot it out the way. I'm still Megan Fox. You know what I'm saying? At least she's small and shit. You can get your hand around her neck, mess her up. You ain't messing up Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's gonna mess you up. So this is the question I'm asking. You need to operate on a higher plane. Think about this. This is important. This is cultural. This affects the world we now live in. What is straight? What is gay? It's all a big sliding spectrum, isn't it? Because if you're gonna sit here and go, oh no, it's gay to bang Megan Fox with a dick, I counter that argument. It's gay to bang Hulk Hogan with a pussy.
Okay, he makes some fine points here, Mr. Tate. But the answer. I'm damn sure he was doing this just to be controversial. Now, I am not a fan of Mr. Chong here. How the hell did he get 1.2 million followers? But every once in a while he does post gold. Hold on, let me see if I can find the one he posted earlier. Blocking out the sun is a good thing. Yeah, that was insane. What? Who's this? I mean, this is correct. Nah, I don't feel like looking for it now because I don't like Chong. Alright, who's going to tell her? I have no idea who this is. Is it impossible for a woman after 40 to find a boyfriend? I have no children, I cook delicious food, and have a really big house. Am I really that bad? No. Once you get to a certain age, ladies, guys just assume that you're taken, or they're going to question why you're single. And since she's got a big house, I'm just going to assume she was probably a career woman. No kids? I mean, you focused on your career. I mean, that's literally what I'm assuming looking at this. You focused on your career. And honestly, I mean, that's actual sadness in her face. Look at her. She's not happy in any way, shape, or form. The fact of the matter is that this is just the card she's been dealt. This is what happened to her. Rates your racism. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so that guy came into one of the spaces I was in, and I didn't say anything racist. I did, however, be incredibly horrible to Canadians. And apparently I believe I got like a 9.5 or something like that. I was high up there. I will never stream in X space simply because I'm worried about what people are going to come in there and say. But yeah, going back to the conversation about the woman, yeah, it's a sad ordeal. But these things happen because of the choices you make. And now you're an example for the rest of the world. And I'm sorry about that. But I'm sure she's a wonderful lady. I mean, look at her. I mean, look at that soft face. I bet she's got a heart of gold. She cooks delicious food. I can't think of an evil woman that can't cook delicious food, okay? I'm just saying, every woman I've ever met has been a good cook. I mean, good woman. Men, this is for you.
Here's the truth, gentlemen. Being handsome doesn't keep a woman. Being honest doesn't keep a woman. Being loyal doesn't keep a woman. Treating a woman well doesn't keep a woman. Being there for her doesn't keep a woman. Caring about her doesn't keep a woman. Making an effort doesn't keep a woman. Paying attention doesn't keep a woman. Spending time with her doesn't keep a woman. You could have the best intentions, you could have the most sincere feelings, and you could be a good man, and you still wouldn't be able to keep her. Because the only way to keep a woman is if that woman wants to be kept by you. You can't force her to stay. You can't beg her to love you. You can't love her into loving you back. With a woman, you know she wants to stay when things get tough, and she still chooses to fight for you. Because a woman only fights for the man she truly wants to be with. So if she's not fighting for you when things get hard, it's because she no longer wants to be kept by you. The lesson here is, don't hold on to someone who doesn't want to be kept. It's not you giving up on her, it's her giving up on you. And it's you who shouldn't waste any more of your time. Know when to let go, know when to walk away.
I mean, points have been proven. Points have been made. Know when to walk away. The moment she starts disrespecting you and treating you like absolute dog do, then yeah, you need to walk the fuck away. The thing that I've noticed that has kept the mass majority of good relationships going is it's always been one thing. How do you make her feel? Does she respect you? Does she like you? Does she care about you? These sort of things. Why is she going to respect or care about you? What is going to make her actually wish to stay? These things, these are the questions you need to ask. And these things always come about because if you make them feel something special, like if they love you at your heart of hearts, like you've seen plenty of women who stayed with just the most toxic of guys. Sometimes they beat them and all that, but they still love them. Well, why is that? Because they make them feel something. And of course, I mean, it's usually whenever it comes to toxic things like that, there's a contrast of sorts. Like, the guy who beats her can be incredibly tender at other moments. And it's a horrible, horrible cycle, but I mean, you see where I'm coming from. But a guy who's constantly making her feel something interesting, that will always keep them there. Like, if you're unpredictable and you're not boring, that's going to keep a woman there longer than it is if you just become incredibly predictable and boring. Example, a guy that I actually know. Dude's wife is a psychologist. A psychologist. Like, she could literally tell me why like, I could tell her that I have a PTSD response to Pez dispensers, and she'll pry at all the right things, and within an hour she's going to have an exact reason why. It's interesting, and I love it. She makes well over 6 figures a year. What does he do? He's a carny. He makes less than $100,000 a year. He goes to where certain carnivals are. He does a lot of traveling for his work, so he gets a little bit extra for that. But it's still less than $100,000 a year. She makes 6 figures. I think he said that she made like $300,000 in 1 year, and that it's often around that much. And he's making, I think it's like 60 or 70. He's a freaking carny. What does he do to keep that relationship going? He's unpredictable as all hell. That's one of the things. But now that I've given personal details about the guy's life, I can't show you his Twitter profile because, like, I've actually met the guy in person. Like, I met him on Twitter. We went to go do some business stuff, and, well, the business stuff kind of failed, but that's a different topic in the story for another time. Zuby, in my observation, women are more misogynistic than men by far, but male misogynists are more likely to be psychopathic and violent. So they get all the attentions despite being fewer in number. Most men really like women, often to the point of causing other problems. Simpin' ain't easy, simpin' ain't easy. Reposting Zuby. Yeah. Senpai's not going to notice me. But I feel like this needs to be heard. Women are more misogynistic than men are. You ever see like groups of women, and the moment one steps out of line for what the groupthink is, that they just start pulling all the most horrible anti-woman slurs out there, like pick me? There's no way you could possibly be anti-feminist because, I mean, like you're a woman. You're only doing this because you want the attention of all the men. These arguments right here. That right there is what is going to, how do I put it? That's the sexism right there. That's woman on woman sexism. And you see this quite a bit. Like, women will reputation destroy. They will be incredibly horrible to one another. And they'll target other women long before they target men. Why is that? They like to keep the women in line with their beliefs. Like, the more you see women step out of line with one or two things, the more you will see them kind of rebel against that. And it's a tribal mentality. I think it's part evolutionary right there too, evolutionary psychology. But I mean, that's a thing that I really honestly need to think into more. But there you go. And that's why we see more women doing that. But male misogynists are likely to be more psychopathic and violent. This comment, what does this mean? So I believe that there's a balance to things. So on the topic of men and women, another one that I've heard plenty of occasions, and this is from Chris Rock. Men lie the most, women tell the biggest lies. Like, men lie so much as damn near a language. Women's lies are, it's your baby. So there's kind of a balance between there. Like, you see more women doing misogynistic things, but the male misogynists are much more misogynistic. Like, if you go into any of the incel spaces... Hold on, let me see if I can pull somebody up real quick. Now, I follow a lot of these incels, so I can specifically state when they are being poo-poo heads. A community for men that lack romantic relationship despite trying. An account run by moderator. What the fuck am I saying? Talking like that? Social media is far more damaging to women than porn is to men. Why did I read that as Trump? It's probably the light in my eye. You know? I'm actually curious about this. I've never actually sat there and thought about this. So here's what I'm going to do. Because, when there was no social media, like, when social media wasn't anywhere near as big, like, I didn't hear about people getting nudes and sending pictures anywhere near as much when it was just Facebook and MySpace. Like, yeah, it happened, but it wasn't anywhere near as much. But the more you saw things like Instagram and Snapchat popping off, the more I hear about it. Most empathetic women, by the way. Shady Nanofex. Yay, 80% of suicides are men. Going back to my whole balance conversation, if memory serves me correctly, I think women actually try more. Women, he needs to be 6'4", white, good looking, and make 6-7 figures. That's the first time I've actually heard anyone add white to the conversation. Men, she just needs to be cute enough and stay by my side. So, what I love about this argument is that I don't make 7 figures, I don't make 6 figures. And I do coaching. I'd have to say that I'm mid. Even though I tell it, like, whenever I'm talking about how good looking I am, I'm like, yeah, I'm sexy. And I'm 5'5", and getting laid's never been an issue for me. Never. Ever. Men, she just needs to be cute enough and stay by my side. No. A lot more men are not tolerating piss-poor behavior from women. If you go to Steve the Dean Williams Man Mindset, I believe he basically talks about what I would consider to be the benchmark of how men are going within this sphere. And just to, like, how they are moving throughout the world and how they deal with women in that particular topic. God damn it. Red flags in women over 30, single mom, reads erotica. Okay, that one, 100%. Yeah, that's a red flag for me. Obsessed with astrology. That's what I would call a light red flag. Hates drama because of it, big red flag. Social media addiction, totally. Post thirst trap, totally. Always traveling. Yeah, Jim Selfie. Can't cook, I wouldn't call a red flag, but I mean, it's something to be concerned about. Never mind, that's a red flag. Not like a super huge one, but still there. Claims every ex is a narcissist, yes. Always working on herself. I hear from time to time women working on themselves, but I don't really hear about it super often. Like, if I see a chick who's talked about working on herself, it'll usually be once every 6 months when they talk about that. Too many guy friends? Yes. Thinks therapy is a personality trait? Yes. Says all men are trash, but dates toxic trash. If he's toxic, he's not really a Chad, now is he? Oh my god. This is actually a pretty good list. Like, this is not something I would believe involuntary celibate incels.is would actually create. The brutal truth is that she's talking to too many guys at once. Oh my god. Yeah. I've seen that. I've not seen that. This is the man she's talking about. Wait, is that Ted Bundy? Who is that? That's not Ted Bundy. I know that's a murderer of some sort. Who is that? Women like assertive men. He is correct. I had a therapist once tell me he had a client who was sending love letters to Ramirez. Oh, that's who it was. And you wouldn't want her. Maybe he was right, who knows, but it's still frustrating that so many women would rather be with hunky murderers than low-status men. Once you understand that these two women are chasing the same men, you'll begin to understand the problem. He's creepy versus he's confident. Now, I've met guys who are just as ugly as this dude. Like, no shit. Just as ugly as this dude. Pull women who looked like this. What did he have? Like, I've like straight up been outgamed by dudes who looked like this. What was it that this guy did? Well, the thing is that this guy's funny. Maybe not this guy specifically, but the ugly dude that I'm referring to was funny. And he could talk about things that just like moved a woman's heart. He knew how to be like philosophical and deep, but he knew how to tone it right, and he also had good weed. So I'm not even mad that the guy who looked like this fucking outgamed me. I'm not. And he pulled a girl who looked about like this. But that's happened on more than one occasion. Take away the makeup filters, and most of these women are just yeah. I don't know what it is about Rihanna, but when she doesn't have makeup on, she always looks surprised. Now, this is something I'm going to look at later. Don't care, not going to watch, to be honest. No mewing, I see. I love the mewing memes, but anyways. Now we're going to Reddit. So, gotta readjust my screen here. Is it possible to escape the black pill? And this shit is like ruining my life, gang. I even think if I did the hard max and it worked, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would know that it was just pure physical attraction, and that's all love is. Wrong. I can't really do that. It just hurts so bad. I wish I wasn't so ugly and could have actually believed. What? Is English your second language? Do any people who escaped the black pill know what to do? So, escaper of fates. Not if you're black pill. If you're black pill, you're going to be an incel forever. What is hard maxing? Let me just look that up real quick. I'm worried about looking it up on the page here in case something. Oh, my favorite person messaged me. Now, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what hard maxing is. is hard maxing? Okay, refers to more extreme and harmful methods used to practice of looks maxing, improving one's physical appearance. Might engage in risky behaviors like steroid abuse, drastic weight loss, starve maxing, dangerous cosmetic procedures. Yeah, I've heard of guys, in order to get bigger cheekbones and have like the chin dimples, they would literally inject cement, like the same cement used in roads, under their skin. Is it real? Did this actually happen? I've heard of people doing this, but I don't know if it actually happened. But we can't honestly say that we don't think that someone's tried this. Anyways, is it possible to escape the black pill? Look, looks are your foot into the door a good amount of the times. But I consider myself mid, and I'm just mid enough to be invisible to the average woman. So how do you actually go about saying hello and, attracting a woman from that point? How do you do that? It's real simple. For one, you stop being a little bitch. You stop. How do you stop being a little bitch? You go out and you show up. That's the thing. You show up. And a lot of these guys, they're just not fucking doing it. They're not showing up and saying hello to these women. And they're not doing that at all. They don't know how to talk to women because they don't do it. You all go out and you actually talk to women. You're going to get a little bit of experience. You're going to learn some things. You're going to get hurt a little bit you're going to get hurt sometimes. Because, yeah, women can be mean. Have you finished elementary school? Of course women are mean. So, you sit down, you talk to them, you figure out what you want. You figure out what they want. And you meet yourself somewhere in the middle. Figure out what you're going to sacrifice and what you don't want to sacrifice. Let's go back and look at more incel exit. How do you accept the fact that you are not physically attractive? Well, you look max as hard as you can. I'm literally going back to the gym every freaking day. I used to be a personal trainer to get my six-pack back simply because I want to also sell fitness coaching too. So, there's my goals. You work on your physical fitness. You learn how to dress a little bit better. You make yourself feel better. And then you stop giving a shit how you look beyond, being authentic to you. And you work on your personality the most. I relapsed and need help. I'm going through a black pill crisis again, and worst of all, I don't think I can escape it. I did a social media detox to avoid incel stuff, but now I get triggered by things around me. That's not what you need, my guy. Every time I go outside, I see a lot of couples that are comprised of tall white men and his girlfriend. That triggers me because it reminds me of how the black pill spaces harp on how women only go after tall white men. That has not been my experience. Like, I've literally watched, country girls with the racist dad who, they were daddy's little princess, but suddenly they see a dark-complected individual that they know their dad would hate, and it's like, now they want them. I feel inferior as a short person of color when I go outside. How am I supposed to avoid these constant triggers? Hell, I'm friends with some couples and that are triggering to me. I feel bad for my chick friend now. Because she was telling me about how she went to the park with her kids and she started crying because she doesn't want to be alone. And, yeah. Hearing this guy talk about this is like, I'm a short person of color. I feel like because he's going POC, he's probably darker than me. But your personality will take you farther. The difference is that when it comes to personality, it's having your foot in the door versus, just being like having the looks that just attract people. Like being tall and being sexy, yeah, that's going to have a lot more people staring But if you work on your personality, you have to like barge through the door. You have to do things that make them notice you. You have to do things to interact with them that put you out there into the ether of their mind. Did I word that right? Ether of your mind? Like, okay. Continued exposure. Avoid benign triggers. No. Be around the triggers. Learn to face them and realize that you're full of bullshit. That's the problem I have with Black Pill. It is complete and utter bullshit. 5 days ago, this one popped up again. I'm currently 24 and I've been searching for like 4 years to connect with someone romantically and physically. Before making any assumptions. 4 years. Damn. That sucks, bro. Think positively or ask nicely. I've joined a ton of activities to meet new people. Dancing, hiking, language exchanges, university events. I moved dorms twice, hoping for better social environments. Many of these activities have been on a weekly basis. I've made some friends. I can say because it's impossible to have 50 friends, haha, maybe acquaintances, but nothing more. I've tried dating apps. Dating apps are fucking brutal. Tried to take good photos. I can't even take good photos. Like, literally, whenever I was going on Tinder every night, I had photos done by a professional photographer. That is the most... How do I put this? Wow. I'm trying to think of a way to roast my ass. In a way, it's like the most simpish thing that I've ever done. Like, I'm trying to look good for photos that I'm going to use on my Tinder profile. And so... Yeah, I straight up had a professional photographer. Anyways, I'm going to light a cigarette up, and that's not allowed on the YouTube. So... My face is off. I pushed myself to be more outgoing at parties and group events. I've done a lot of things to improve myself. Better eating habits, skincare, style, therapy. 3 years now, changed therapists, tried different medications. But I still haven't had anything. Women just reject me without even having the chance to talk to them. Enough to ask for a date. In parties, they reject me right away. At events, people mostly stick to their circles. When I manage to start a conversation, it's great, even if I just want to be friends. But if I show interest, they start to ignore me. I'm getting messaged. Okay. Let me see if I can just pull this up real quick. My friend sent me this. Imagine you're living in Elder Scrolls world and your Khajiit friend says, "Look at my son. He'll be a great warrior one day." He just does you that. I don't know how many of you have played any of the Elder Scrolls game, but this... Yeah, I'm just telling her that she distracted me from my moment of explaining what's going on here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now I'm laughing maniacally. Okay. Yeah, I gotta put that on the Twitter. Like, it's weird because, like, my Twitter... is not that kind of Twitter. I need to focus more on advertising myself for what I am. Mr. Dating Coach. Alright, back to the topic matter. Meanwhile, I see my friends, both men and women, having casual hookups and relationships easily. Obviously, at different times. I would also like to be able to have both. I don't struggle socially. I have great friends. People tell me I'm easy to talk to and I actually listen, but somehow none of that seems to matter when it comes to dating. Second, I show interest. They shut me down. I keep reading on here that if you put yourself out there, work on yourself, and are not a creep, things will happen, but it hasn't happened to me at all. Damn, bro. I'm going to offer this guy free coaching. Just so you know, I care about a lot of things in my life. My goals, my hobbies, my friends, my interests, and things I deeply care about that matters to me. Both emotional and physical, but that's just part of being human. Thanks for reading. I'm genuinely curious because, I mean, it sounds like he's working on himself a lot, but, like, he's doing something wrong on a personal level, and I don't know what that is. There's something missing from what he's saying here. He doesn't realize it himself, otherwise he would have said it. So, I'm genuinely curious what he's doing wrong. Like, this makes no sense to me. This is just... There's something more to this. I know this. So, I'm going to message him after I'm done with this stream that I'm doing at 4 in the morning. I actually plan on being in bed earlier than this. I just wanted to test to make sure my stuff was working. But it's interesting to me. I got 5 responses on my other Twitter. Ooh, what could be happening here? But, yeah, I'm going to pull up my Twitter account. And I'm going to just tell him to message me. What the hell? Yeah, I need to regulate myself more on Twitter. So, yeah, I know I've got some issues here, too. It's like we're all working on ourselves here, man. I wonder if he works out. Because, like, usually when it comes to guys like this, they have an issue with how they present, how they feel about themselves. And women and dudes can smell that. If you have no self-confidence, you will be outed for it. In some way, shape, or form. So, yep, pulling it up on a new thing. I'm beginning to self-isolate again. Oh, God. You know what? I'm just going to go to male mental health. How common is it to hang out with people long? Nope. Do you feel like a creep when you imagine yourself in a relationship? Okay. So this one. And now that my cigarette has been done, I'm not exactly attractive as a man. Felt. I'm really asymmetrical and short. I think I've got one ear up a little higher than the other one, and I'm not exactly sure because, like, my glasses are always crooked. When I talk, my face just feels off. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not attractive at all. I can't imagine myself being all sweet and cute with a girl for 2 reasons. First, is that I'm unattractive. Second is that I can't even get one. I feel really unattractive to the point where I feel like being a creep for being in love. That's just your self-shame, bro. I feel like a creep for opening my mouth or imagining myself to say sweet stuff. I have a lot of self-hatred, and that's why I don't talk much. I don't try to be expressive because my face looks ugly when I do that. I stay quiet and hope no one looks at me. Wow. That's a lot to unpack. And like every guy I've talked about, he lacks confidence. And I can totally see why. He thinks he's ugly. He's probably not that ugly. Like I said earlier in the stream, the guy who had the giant eyes, I've been outgamed by guys who literally looked like freaking bridge trolls because they brought something else to the table, and that's this guy's problem. Right now, he's being held down by his lack of self-confidence, and he can't get anywhere from that. That part is freaking obvious here. I feel really unattractive to the point where I feel like a creep for being in love. Look, I was in the seduction community for 14 years. Pickup artistry. That crap. Some of it's valid. A good amount of it's just bullshit. And I should do just a regular form video on that. I feel like a creep for being in love. I feel like a creep for opening my mouth or imagining myself to say sweet stuff. Yeah, you probably should, because it's gonna be cringy as shit. I have a lot of self-hatred, obviously. So, feeling like a creep for being in love, wanting to say some things to a girl. I mean, every guy's had this experience. Doesn't matter if you're straight, doesn't matter if you're gay, doesn't matter if you're tall, doesn't matter if you're ugly, good looking, Giga Chad or not. Every guy has had this moment. And that's the thing. This man, he doesn't understand that it's not creepy. What you say may possibly be creepy, and honestly, I bet this guy's poorly socialized. I know this because I was this. I'm still poorly socialized in some ways, yet I don't have problems getting laid. I have problems staying celibate. Because I have an addiction. Anyways, every guy's gonna have this, so you don't feel like a creep. I'm gonna fucking tell him right now. Yeah. Every guy does this. Just me, spelling things all kinds of wrong. Doesn't matter if you're good looking or ugly, rich or poor. Every guy has had this. All of them. Now, where else do I go with this? Well, what else should I say to the guy without hurting his feelings? That's the real question. Or should I just say fuck it and hurt his feelings and let him decide whether or not he wants to be filtered by the world? Every guy's had this. Literally all of them. Yep, of course I gotta use the spell things correctly utility of this app. This browser. You gotta do something to make you feel more confident, because if you feel more confident in some ways, it's gonna leak out into other bits of you. Rarely ever do I see a guy who is unconfident in every little... who is super confident in everything he does except for one or two things, unless there's like some serious trauma associated with it. Like, let's say, guy's super confident about everything, yet he can't stand the sight of a gun because he accidentally shot his dog or something like that. Things like that, yeah, totally. But this guy, what I'm saying is you need to work on something. And like the number one builder of confidence that I can think of is martial arts. I mean, just learn enough martial arts because violence, the ability to roll around and do shit with bros, that's always going to make you feel better. Acid reflux, ugh. It's always going to make you feel better. Oh. Wow, now I gave out my Reddit account. Thankfully, I got backups. Let me see here. Do you guys feel creepy thinking yourself? Everything I loved has either ended or backstabbed me. I don't even need to read this. It's usually like when this happens because I've also been this. It's a matter of your own personal choice. And once you figure out that the commonalities besides yourself that these other people have, you can actually work on that. A lot of the times whenever you wind up loving a lot of women that are going to backstab you or treat you absolutely horrible, it's because you've got something in common with all of those things. Like, maybe you've got a bad mom, and these women subconsciously remind you of your mom. Things like that. My first girlfriend stalked, blackmailed me, and falsely accused me. Oh, wow. My last ex did the exact same thing. Like, she didn't blackmail me, though. She stalked me, and she would follow me into my Twitter spaces. And I would know this because she would be one of the anonymous listeners, and she would message me on something, and she would make alts and everything, just to comment on what I was saying. Have you ever been in a position where you needed to change your life? Yes, on a few occasions. Like, when I lived in the city, I started getting into some of the wrong things. And I'd be dead if I stayed in the city. Like, I literally threw away a relationship because, well, guy wrote a book. I literally threw away a relationship because I messed up parts of my life and, well, I couldn't see her being in it. Like, ironically, this is the best girlfriend I had. But, I mean, in some ways she already checked out, so, it was best I just ended it. I just wish I would have ended it better. Hello to those reading this. I'm in a rut and genuinely don't know what to do in terms of my life. Forgive me if I write out boring and perhaps need a rant. Had friends in school around year 11. Oh, so he's British. I don't know what that actually translates to in American. What was about it? Would hang out with my friends at least once a month. Never got my driver's license. Fear of driving. Oh, yeah, that actually affected me too. Like, I was afraid of driving and, hurting somebody else. I don't even have my theory, so I'm limited to my local ear. What? I never thought this would be repercussions so much in my life, but I think it's too late. No, it's not too late. Colonel Sanders, the guy, the crazy chicken man from frickin' KFC, the guy was over the hill by a lot whenever he decided he was going to, become the Colonel and start KFC. I mean, I am going to do a whole video on Mr. Sanders. I will. So I got no car, so my employment is limited by location more than the average person. Yeah, I'm now 28 through my whole life, doing minimum, not doing anything. Yeah, you need to unfuck yourself. I still live at home, pay rent, but spent most of the money on food, unless garbage, etc. Blah blah blah. I am now somewhat obese. You need a gym pass. As a result, my savings is just about 18,000 euro. Which seems pathetic for my age. How much is 18,000 euro? Let us check. €18,000? Bro. That's 20 grand. My guy, you have all the money you need to reset your life. You can buy a nice used car. I don't know what the actual car market's like in the UK or wherever he lives. But I'm damn sure he can buy a decent car for 5 of that. He has enough money to go get an apartment. He has enough money to do a lot of things here. He's at a better position than 99% of these motherfuckers who are going to be watching this later on down the track. I don't have any assets. I can tell my parents and siblings are fed up with me. I've never left my city. Your siblings, a lot of them will sabotage you. Your parents, I don't know how you are with your parents. But hopefully they don't try to sabotage you. I'm currently a supervisor with the NHS. I have no idea what that is. And it's starting to take a drain on me mentally and physically as public. Okay. I've had a new colleague join me in 6 months, and she's new. I decided to help show her the ropes, blah, blah, blah. Throws a new people into the deep, and is evident by a high turnover rate. She is great, pretty, blah, blah, blah. Talks about her life despite being 22, and has lived much more fulfilling life than it's made me feel like actual garbage. She is nice. Invited me out to dinner. Oh, he's catching feels. People at work say we suit. And she go out and sing. I joked about in a somewhat serious manner once, and she just gave me a list of laughing emojis, and so I ignored it. She recently told me she's going on dates with someone near her age and drives and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This guy needs to unfuck himself. He needs to unfuck himself. He needs to do something with himself. That girl is his nice little wake-up call. Every great beginning begins with a great renunciation. You now all know how stupidly I spell. So one of my favorite authors, Zanperion. Yeah, he left a 6-figure job. Yeah, if I continued to sit here and talk, I'd go on for forever, and that would just destroy whatever bit of streaming momentum I could actually have here. But for anyone who watches this later on, Zanperion, he left a 6-figure job to go out and meet women. Because that was the thing. He wanted to meet girls. He spent all his time working, and he was realizing he was missing something from his life. So, he went out on the road and he just started, doing that. I actually want to see pictures of him from that time. I should ask him. But I actually don't have a way to contact Zan. Like, I've never talked to the guy or anything. But he's my favorite author, and I wish more people would read his works. Listen to his podcasts. For Zanperion, go to Ars Amorata. or just look him up on YouTube. Great guy. My ex-girlfriend, like, dude literally looks like an older version of my ex-girlfriend's brother. It's awesome. I saw this one the other day. It really hurts being 30 and the fact that I've never had a GF. Always rejected. Not a single girl, woman has ever showed interest in me. No matter what I did, no matter how much I worked on myself, no matter what advice I took from other dudes who are good with women, I am now 30 and balding so hard. Shave it all off. It really hurts when I think about it. For years, I am lonely and depressed because of this fact. So, Neil Strauss, the writer of The Game. The guy was basically 40 and didn't know how to talk to girls. Joins a couple boot camps, learns how to talk to girls, has his own little methodology. I'm not going to go into all that. But if he could go from just the nerd who was balding and couldn't talk to women, so can you. So, really, it's never too late to start. And, you know, I should tell this guy that. So, I'm going to do that later on. Look, I'm still learning the whole ins and outs of streaming. So, we're going to go to men's rights. Arrested over a dozen. Oh, we're not talking about that. 13-year-old boy maybe lived up. Oh, no. Yep, I'm walking away from this. What's another one I could look up here? Meninist culture. Men's rights. Men's lib. Building a better manosphere from the Oval Office to what? Hyper-aggressive manhood is ascendant, but impulses drawing young men to the manosphere suggest they're after something else. Ah, okay, I'm actually genuinely curious about this. It's somebody trying to sell their information. Bloomberg article. Sex, tech, and masculinity. Nope. Weekly free talk thread. Men doing more housework than ever. Why is it still not enough? What is with, like, it used to be people would actually sit down and talk about things. Now all of these are just articles. Like, Men's Lib was something I'd come back to laugh about things. How's everyone's mental health? Men's Lib has changed. It used to... I should quit smoking. Patriarchy bad for men. Sex stuff ads. What adolescence gets right and wrong about incels, just... No. I'm going back to incel exit. How do we develop men... How do we help men decenter from female validation? I notice this is a pattern straight men get for some reason is re-ingrained into our minds that female validation is the ultimate form of status. I farted. You could have all the accomplishments in the world, but if women don't like you, you're still a loser in the eyes of society. I feel like this is where famous male entitlement comes from. As someone who struggles with this a lot, I'd like to know what could be done on a societal level to encourage men not to put female attention on a pedestal. The same way women are actively more and more disinterested in men and benefiting from it. Men could be benefiting from and adopting the same mentality as well. That's why you don't see female incels. I mean, there's a few that exist, but we're not going to talk about that. Because women being seen as single is a strong thing. And they should be proud of it. And that's why they aren't nearly as angry as male virgins. I wish it could be like this for us for men rather than that. What can we do as a society to make being single something to be proud of the same way women do? Well, that's because the vast majority of women, they have a choice in being single. Men, if we're single, it's rarely ever by choice. And I'm not going to lie, I've been in positions where I've been single not by choice, and I felt poopy because it's like, I'm not good enough. And I've had plenty of sex in my life. The issue that I've had with, the being single portion is, it's not that I can't get a girlfriend, it's that I can't find somebody who actually fits me. Like, I can go get a girlfriend right now, and like the thing is that if I wanted like the options that I have, she's gonna be wrong in this way, she's gonna be wrong in that way, she's gonna be horrendous in another way, she's gonna be treat me this way, and that's the thing that a lot of guys don't have the joy of having. I'm single because I can't find somebody who fits my standards, and I can sit there and talk about that all day. But I'm also currently working on myself for the most part, so, I can be good enough for that person when they show up. But I also have the opinion that is like, how do I put this? If she says no, I'm okay with it. Because women are abundant. They're 50% of the population. I mean, if it gets to a certain point, I can just be like, okay, fine, I'll take this girl, it's fine. But in terms of this particular conversation with this guy, needing female validation, the moment you stop looking for female validation, you start being a little bit of an asshole. Oftentimes, that's when the women try to validate themselves to you. That's when you have that particular thing happen. They will try to validate themselves to you in some way, shape, or form, or they'll try to shame you, and if they fail, it's awesome because they freak the fuck out. And they try harder, and then suddenly, like, they'll start doing a bunch of other things. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about my personal experiences with women who've tried to shame me. Like, you've won when they try to fuck you because they couldn't get you to react to them being an asshole. Oh, yeah. But you don't really need female validation. Unless it's like your mom and you want your mom to be proud of you, and then that only exists to a certain point before it's bunk. You don't need female validation in any way, shape, or form. You don't. And that's the thing that a lot of guys just simply do not understand. And so, there we go. The moment you understand that, the better you are at being strong as an individual. Because women being seen single as being strong. That only lasts until you're like 40. First date in years. Tips. I'm not going to message this guy. My first date in 5 years. Any tips on anything? Going to a cafe? Oh! He's going to a cafe. He's having a coffee date. My guy. You're doing all right already. I've been talking for about 2 weeks. Gotta keep her interested. Gotta be fun. Gotta be playful. Do a little bit of teasing. Don't tease too hard or you're gonna get the coffee thrown in your face. And that shit's gonna be sticky because if it's a chick, they always add a bunch of sugary shit to it. Yeah. Coffee dates. But really just be playful. Keep up. High energy. You need to have that high energy, but you also got to keep like the low energy. You got to keep that middle ground. Don't be too high, don't be too low. But you need to know when to have the high points and when to have the low points. You know what? I need to explain that a little bit better. But we're doing a stream and not a coaching session, so I don't have to explain that. Don't be too much of a spurg. But don't be too much of a down-to-earth individual. You gotta be playful. Anyways, I think that's it for this. I want to know how I did. I feel like because I'm tired and I'm doing this at 4:30 in the morning, I'm just kind of screwing myself here. But I'm going to learn because I know that there's going to be comments down below eventually. Anyways, have a good one, guys. My whole... Let me check it. 1 view. You know what? I shall continue.